with another one. Back with my kid crew list. Not too much change, but we got a few more red cards to add to the pool. So I just wanted to give you an update since the previous set updated a lot of decks. So without further ado, let's get into it. Also, I got other versions of this in my deck profile playlist and gameplays. Always keep checking the playlist because always new stuff added. Let's get into it. Starting off with the leader, pretty good card advantage. Thins itself out on the front side. Draws. Backside when you have 4. This is at 4 leader, draw 2. Allows you to play out a skillless card from either your hand or your Z deck. Don't have the errata one, but when you play a 30k, you can neg your opponent's battle cards. You used to be able to neg their unisons, but people complained that away, even though there was answers the very next set. But hashtag bring back Bunny Girl, but give us source at 1. But I still think this is a good red deck regardless. Still has some key functions that make it better than a lot of other red decks. Mainly the fact that you can play a body and neg something for 0 energy. Going on to the deck, and the reason why I think it's at, I would say, top 5 of its color spectrum right now is just because mainly this card went back to 4, and this deck utilizes it the best. No competition, it utilizes the absolute best. Good card advantage, or to keep your hand side, and it good pressure, and it kind of destroys your opponent's field, or it punishes them for countering. And I'm like, we can't make it too easy for them. Then we got a backup unison. This used to be baby, but I always wanted to throw this in there, and like with all of the massacring and the hits of red, space opened up. I'll just say that, cause man, there was like a hunt for to kill the color red. I'm like, man, is we ever gonna win a national with a red deck? But luckily, it survived well enough to at least be able to top and win a regional, even after the hits. But main reason we run it, additional card advantage. I like unisons that draw me cards. Also, it makes our 30k scarier because it makes them double strike. Rarely get off the -7, but if we do, more power to you. Next, we go into the. Let me just do this first because our one off. Usually for the King Piccolo. Usually use this early in the game, but this is our counterplay. But getting on to the point I was about to make. Why we play the deck for the vanillas. We got our Ox King, 4 of those, and 3 Son Gokus. You run 7 vanillas altogether. That's more than enough. And there's interactions where you can recycle them, but we'll get into that eventually. Then we got 4 Tiens, which you pair with your crit guys, or it makes your vanilla's crit really good. Then we got our Searcher, grabs our Earthlings and Sands. Also, turn 3, you get to revive one, your Saint, the Goku vanilla big one, the vanilla Goku from the drop, and then trigger your leader's ability again. Also, mind you, that leader ability is not once per turn. You can keep playing 30Ks and triggering that ability. It'll just keep going off. Which is part of his own good defense in and of his own. Then we got 4 of the Chaozu is kind of getting kind of messy. This is also part of the defense of the deck, and why it's so highly regarded is being able to play 30Ks during your opponent's turn is a pivotal reason why this game or this deck can close out the most matchups early between turns 3 and 4. Then we save on the road with this card. Just like a late game closer that can get rid of bodies through barrier. Very, very advantageous. Then we got 2 of the tech. A lot of people cite this, but I like to main it. Really strong, and it catches people off guard most times, and can turn off certain annoying effects that you don't want to deal with. Going on to our super combos, we got 4 Master Roshis. I was running Raditz, but I decided this kind of goes with the theme, and I always like sparking super negates and sparking super combos, and there are instances where I might go back up in life, and this still is live, because like I will just explain the interaction later, but Raditz is usually the typical one, but I want to branch out and just do this because there are certain times where it's good to be at a high life. Now, that's pretty much of the general engine of the deck and how it functions. And next time to go on with some of the power cards or staples of the deck. We're running 2 Vegetos, super duper strong defensively and offensively after you use them on your opponent's turn. It's a 20k swinger. Same with this Tekken one, Gohan, just for the double strike. We don't really have too much problem building up Z energy for the occasion. Next we got a power turn 3 play is the Gohan. Depending on if we made a board or not, we go into him. Because if we have a board and we swing it out, his other ability to be able to combo rest mode cards is very vital. If we don't and we trying to tackle something big that's on board, we are playing that guy, which definitely gets that up out of here. Going on to our last few cards. Secret rare, always like to keep them guessing, so we coming back to the theme. Thematic, triple strike. Pretty surprised. That's what I love about the game. Can always keep them guessing with the DBSCGs. Not a lot of people play this one, but I was asking around what are some of the good decks to use this in, and like first answer from everybody, ironically, is Kid Koop. So we spent the block back and threw it back in Kid Koop. Even though a lot of people like to run the light and the dark, and also you got the new Broly that came out with that Broly. I kind of like this because it catches him off guard and helps you close out the game. But that's the one we chose and we rolling with. Then we got Omen Evolution, but it's green. Why do we run it? Just to keep our opponent's combos or Z energy down, because when they combo, they can charge it for Z energy, and we like to keep them on low Z energy so our explosive dance is more effective. That's been the general thing since the beginning. And also, you don't want them to go to battle following that up. That's why we have 3 testing the ops. I'm thinking about playing Dispo in here eventually because I don't want to always take my life, but and also there's some instances where if I just had like sparking negate that didn't play a card because like Koichikai and stuff like that, or tripping off another counterplay that your opponent can play because you played a battle card. When I find the answer, I'll let y'all know. But for now, it's decent enough to do what it do. Then, because we're playing unisons, we got 2 Wolfings, classic. I think this is good enough to go back into red decks. Mostly, because every red deck has like a Z unison that they can play, even if they don't want to play it main. And for our last 2 cards, since we flood the board with big bodies, Giant Eagles. Because if they threaten that big swing, I'm just going to say, can you get up to 30k? And 9 times out of 10, unless people run a mirror, creator absorb, which they're not. Don't know why. They just going to say, alright, no combo, and most likely pass turn. But usually save this for like the final big swing or the surprise gotcha moment, and then you just one up them with Granny Goo. But that is the mean. Let's get into the Z. Let me clean this up. It's not too out the ordinary. We got the standard. Then we got on thing Goku. We only doing 1. Our new addition is this Broly that everybody loves. And then we got 2 TNs. We used to run like 4, but with all of the new stuff, since this deck came out, we got to make the space. Because some of the stuff we like to run is the new Sin, the new Jiren, Goku, just to close out games because we can grind. And our deck predicated on the water. What I was saying for the sparking negate, I like to go into this or from 6 because it makes explosive dance live turn 2, and they usually don't commit any combos early, like turn 1, turn 2, and if you shut them out turn 2 and turn 3 with an explosive dance, most strategies rely on utilizing the Z deck just to perpetuate some sort of build up or some momentum on their part of their game plan. But by keeping them out like that for at least those 2 pivotal turns, because those are their turning points for where they really gassing up into their strategies, their turn 2 and turn 3, and then they try to kill you on their turn 4 or 5. But if you slow that down, you more inclined to put them on the back end when you're pressuring them during those turns, and probably set them a turn back and you close out. But that's the reason why we run it. And like after those two, those two pivotal turns, dance don't matter as much, and it just becomes a regular negate towards the back end of the game, and then you just pop this off and then make a mighty blast just to push or close out the game, or for a late game dance. But usually it doesn't matter too much at that point. But it's just slowing them down turn 2s and turn 3, just so you can put the heat to them. Moving on to the side, we got obligatory Broly Crown. Then 3 strategies of Universe 7. Thought about meaning it, but I didn't want to run a 60 card deck. Then classic gacha that nobody runs. The final blow. Always like this card, and this minuses the opponent in a big way and keeps our guys on board because we're beefy enough to take it. 2 more sparkings, just to double down in case I want to set up a kill, and more cute interactions to keep myself alive while getting rid of their board. But you probably can see that in the gameplays on the channel. And we side deck our classic strategy, which is the baby, in case we slow rolling it, and 4 Fidels. And that's the profile. Any thoughts, comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching, and catch y'all later. This has been my update of Goku, or Red Childhood Goku 2026.